Hi, Carolyn. First, so here's what happened podcast and Carolyn Talks. So my question is for Gabrielle, Ashley, and Lacey, and also Sky, and it has to do with developing your characters and the characters that all of you play. In the fact that they're not stereotypical characters that we see Black women play. So could you tell me a bit about developing your characters and how much of them are who you are in real life?
What is so fun and different about this show is we play so many characters. So you may have one or two, like for me, Trinity is a little bit closer to myself. But then after you get through those like 2 or 3 characters, you're like, okay, I did those. So by the time you get to character number 25, like I play characters that there's no piece of me anywhere in there. And it's so much fun to get to indulge, some character that you would never. And one of the things that I love about doing this show and love about Robin and the vision that she has is she has put me in stuff that there is literally not a director or a casting director on earth. If I was the last actress alive, they'd be like, well, we just not gonna make this movie. And Robin will put you in that character and have you stretch yourself as an actor. So I've discovered new ways of being funny. I've been doing comedy for years, but I've discovered new ways of being funny on this show because we play so many characters. You get through your bag of tricks quickly and then you have to start developing. So it's really fun.
Your bag of tricks is endless, please. Endless.
Her bag of tricks is endless, Ashley. I will respond with something similar. I obviously watched the first season of A Black Lady Sketch Show. I wasn't in the first season. And immediately when I was watching it, I was texting my manager, I was texting my agents. I was like, why didn't I have an audition for this? I love this so much. Like, I was obsessed. And like, I come from character, improv world of UCB, which is very white. God bless them, but very white. And so to be able to do improv and sketch and all the cool things that I learned, but with Black people who live my experience, and we don't have to do a timeout and be like, hey, don't do that no more. Like to be able to just live and breathe with these human beings was honestly so refreshing and invigorating. But I will say that Robin, during this whole process, low-key became like my gymnastics coach.
Yes. For you and Sky. I made Sky do some squats one day. She was like, I don't know how to do that. I said, if I can do it, you can do it. Y'all are young. I do. It's very physical.
I know y'all meant stretch in like the like the metaphor.
No, I meant actually stretch.
But Robin didn't even stretch, honey. And it was so funny because anything crazy, like I did a lot of physical stuff on the show, but anything like big and crazy that she would ask me to do, Robin would come over and be doing that right in front of me before we rolled on the take. I would be like getting ready and then I'd turn around and Robin is like in a full stretch, like, yeah, girl, I'm doing it with you. I'm here to support. I'm like, she's in a full split. What's happening? So, it was great to have the support of that and know that everyone's behind you doing these different things and growing and stretching yourself into these different characters, but also to have the support of like, even if there was an improv moment where I was like, I don't know quite what I want to do here, but I know I want to do something different. I could just call out to Laura and Ashley Smith and be like, you got a line, you got a line where you got an ad lib, and she would have ad libs. Like I've never seen a genius work that quickly of just like ad libs that I would be like cracking up and then be like, okay, I will do that. So it was fun to stretch ourselves, but we didn't have to stretch ourselves in a way where it felt uncomfortable because there was so much support and so many people with so much experience that could lend to us stretching ourselves. And so I got to try out a lot of crazy things, do a lot of fun stuff that I'm proud of. And I never felt like, oh, this is so risky because there were so many experienced people behind me like, we got you.
Wow.
I have some very fun. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just think something that a lot of people don't know about the show is we get creative control. And that was crazy to me. I remember the first time that I sat down with Robin and Lauren, I said, well, what if I have a funny idea? They're like, submit it. And I was sitting there in shock. I'm like, what do you mean submit it? They go, if you have hair or makeup or wardrobe. And for me, when I do character work, I'm very visual. So I was shocked that we even had a say so. And the fact that I was like, all right, they'll let me submit my ideas and be like, yeah, girl, no way. But when I saw them come to life, I could not believe believe that coming in as, you know, the newbie, I got to have a say so with how I, you know, envision these people. So it's so exciting because we literally got to have a say so. In a lot of sketch shows, they tell you how they look, they tell you how they sound, and they say deliver. And so for this to be open to hairstyles, or I want her to walk like this, is this okay? It creatively allows us a space to really feel so involved with the project versus just coming in as an actor and taking, you know, direction. So that was the best part to me, was being able to be creative.
Sky would send
I
whole
love
mood boards,
watching
honey.
that.
She would send us whole mood boards. We would be like, great, thank you. And I
Sky
think it's like,
also
they're not
would
gonna let
send
you-
like videos of herself in the
Oh, yes!
character and talking to us, and she's so committed. But it really watching these women bring their ideas and their vision for the characters and marry them to their performances. Like, I had the real pleasure of like walking into the trailers every morning and seeing them like mid transformation, you know, brows changing or hair changing, and seeing them become these people. And it's truly so incredible to see, like, because as writers, we envision the characters, like you think of them, you hear them, all these things, and then these women live them and become them in a way that is truly just genius.
Oh, I
It's
just
really
have to say on
exciting.
that. Oh,
Poor Gabrielle.
well, I was just going to compliment Gabrielle, because I was going to say there was one sketch that we wrote a little parenthetical of like what the character's voice sounds like. And then when we got on set and Gabrielle started talking, Robin and I fell out, because it was just like, yes,
I'm still falling out.
I wrote those words specifically because I thought it would be funny, but I never could have imagined once
Never.
Gabrielle puts it through that genius and that body and what she came out with. I was like, I didn't know voices could do that. And it's so
She does a
funny.
voice. She does a voice in the last episode of the season in a sketch. Is that the last episode? It doesn't matter. She does a sketch. Yeah, I think in the last episode of the season that will. Oh, it's 5. Anyway, you're gonna be like, you will think we altered the voice in post, but we didn't. So it's very, very. She's also like, so many of these women are literally expert singers. I think I'm the only person who doesn't sing. Everyone is like gorgeous voice, like literally could be recording albums. And that stuff that Gabrielle does to manipulate her voice into these characters is very much like from that singing training. Ashley and Sky and Lacey, you sing a little bit, yeah? Yeah, she sang too. Even Lauren sings, and she ain't even on the goddamn on the show. Sorry, cursing. Sorry, I cursed. Anyway, but yeah, Gabrielle, go. I know you got a lot.
Oh no, I was just saying, when Sky was talking about the process, the creative process of like going through picking out, you know, how you visualize creatively what you think the character should look like. I just enjoy, because now being in my second season, I was in that place last season, but I just thoroughly enjoy watching Sky get so excited. I remember there was a particular Sky, and I know you didn't know this character. When you came on the set, I was like, yes, that's it. Like, actually, there was 2 of them that you were just so excited about how that vision came to life. And that's what I love about our show, is that creatively, there's all these pieces that come together. It's like we're just mixing this big pot of good old stew, you know. And you've got the hair department, wardrobe, makeup, the writers, and then the cast, the director, everybody is putting in an ingredient. And what's so fun is, even like when we go, like Lauren, you were just saying how like the writers, how you envision one thing and then you see what we do with it. Even us as the actors, we work on our own thing. And then when we come and bring it to like a table read or to a rehearsal, we'll see what the other actors did with their portions in the scene. It then helps to bring something else out. So it's just this, I don't know, it's just this beautiful dance that we do. And it's just a very fun process to get creative and just break it down. And it's like an actor's dream to be able to play so many such a wide variety of characters in such a short period of time. You know, there's people who wouldn't, if you were to take this and just be like if I, you know, like for example, the character that I played, the teacher last season, the emotional roller coaster she went on in just like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever that sketch was more than sometimes I may have had an opportunity to do an entire season on a show, you know, let alone in 5 minutes of a sketch. So for an actor, this is such a treat, because we're not just stuck in a box of just being like, set up the joke, you know, it's not that type of show. Like I was being able to play a psychotic person, and you could be silly, you could be over the top, you could have your serious moment grounded. Like it's just so fun. So I would say part of your question was, what do we see do we see ourselves in any of these characters? And I would say for the most part, I think there's a little bit of all of us in all of these. I feel like that's the beauty of, like, even if you don't see specifically like, oh, that character's me, there's something about the situation that you can relate to. And I think that's what's so fun.
And I think the writers do a great job too, like you said, of layering in those dimensions, right? Someone, I'm sorry, forgive me, I don't remember, was saying that these characters aren't like the other ones we see on TV, and I think for us, it's all about three-dimensional characters. Even if you only have a couple of lines, we want you to be able to walk away and go, oh, I know who that person is. I know that woman, or I know that character. And we don't waste any time. Some of my favorite roles they know on this show to play are the ones that have 2 or 3 lines in a sketch. Like those are my favorites to play, because you can really go crazy places with them. But we don't do anything that is in support of another character to the detriment of that character, so like, meaning there are no like Black best friend characters, right? I don't even want to do a sketch about the Black best friend, because that's centering whiteness in a lot of ways. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to center whiteness. We want to celebrate Blackness, right? And I think there's a difference. So for us, watching these women interpret these characters, and to Sky's point, there is a lot of freedom. It is what it is on the page, but there's a lot of freedom to bring what you want to bring, and to vocalize them and physicalize these characters in a way that even makes them even more dimensional once they hit the screen.
And to have Black people in hair and makeup and wardrobe, so that when you have those ideas, like last season, I played a security guard, and I went to hair and makeup, and I was like, that lady that always has no makeup but really big eyelashes, and we know what that is. And for the person in the chair to be like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and not, well, let me Google that reference. No, I don't hang out in that neighborhood. I don't know. So our hair, makeup, and wardrobe team is just fantastic. And anything you ask for, anything you reference, they can do it because of the skill and the artistry, but also because they know what you're talking about. And that just brings a freedom to us as actors that we don't often get.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answers, and like I love the entire seasons, and like your performances are amazing. And thank you so much, and we appreciate the laughs that you've given us. Like times have been hard, so like the laughs is definitely a plus and a bonus.